What if I told you some of Hollywood's biggest stars were convinced their most famous movies would fail? Some thought they were making terrible films, others feared the movies would destroy their careers. But instead of flopping, these films became legendary. Here are actors who didn't believe in their biggest hits. One role completely changed an actor's career, even though he never expected much from it. Liam Neeson starred in Taken as ex-CIA agent Brian Mills, but Neeson believed the movie would go straight to video. He thought the story of a man fighting across Europe to find his daughter was too simple for a cinematic release. Neeson took the role because he believed he would never get another chance to make an action movie because of his age. Instead, Taken became a surprise box office success that launched a film trilogy and a TV spin-off. One actor questioned whether audiences would even connect with a character that later became iconic. Tom Hanks starred in Forrest Gump, but while filming, Hanks was not always confident about the movie. Hanks questioned director Robert Zemeckis about whether anyone would care about the film or its lead character. He wondered if what they were making would make sense to anybody. Zemeckis did little to reassure him and suggested they might be creating their own failure. In the end, Forrest Gump became a major hit, with Hanks winning Best Actor and Zemeckis winning Best Director. One superhero movie sounded so unusual that its own star feared it could ruin his future. Chris Pratt starred in Guardians of the Galaxy, but Pratt worried the film might fail because of its strange characters and premise. Pratt was surprised a movie with a talking tree and a raccoon with a gun received such a big investment. He believed the movie could bomb and thought it might be the end of his career. Instead, Guardians of the Galaxy earned more than $700 million and turned Pratt into the face of a franchise. One actor struggled to believe in a movie because of what he saw on set. Gerard Butler starred in 300, but making the film was a very different experience. Since the movie was filmed entirely in front of blue screens, with backgrounds added digitally later, Butler had trouble imagining how everything would look when finished. While watching an actor react to a burning village that was just a blue screen during filming, Butler thought the movie was going to suck. But after seeing the completed version with the effects added, Butler was blown away, and 300 earned $456 million worldwide. One horror star worried something would go wrong, even when everything seemed to be working. Bill Skarsgård played Pennywise the Clown in It, but Skarsgård spent the entire production feeling concerned because things were going too well. Even when early reactions suggested the movie could perform far beyond the studio's most cautious expectations, Skarsgård still convinced himself something terrible might happen and ruin it. Instead, it became one of the most critically and commercially successful horror movies ever made, earning hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office. One actor had no idea a role would turn him into a global name. Robert Pattinson starred in Twilight, but Pattinson did not expect the movie to have a major impact when he accepted the role. Even though the books were popular in the US, Pattinson said they were much less known in London. After being cast, Pattinson tried to buy the books for research, but could not find any bookstores in the city that sold them. Among his friends and family, he only knew one person who had read them before the movie became huge. One career-changing movie started with surprisingly low expectations from its own star. Arnold Schwarzenegger played the robotic time-traveling assassin in The Terminator, but Schwarzenegger did not see the movie as a major moment at first. After being warned that playing the villain could hurt his career, Schwarzenegger believed the film was so low profile that it would not affect him if it failed. Before filming, Schwarzenegger even described it negatively when talking about the boots from the movie. Instead, The Terminator became the film that truly launched Schwarzenegger's career and made him a household name. One actor questioned the logic behind a blockbuster while he was still making it. Ben Affleck played AJ Frost in Armageddon, but Affleck noticed something about the movie's premise during filming. Affleck wondered why it would be easier to teach drillers how to become astronauts instead of teaching astronauts how to drill. When he questioned director Michael Bay about the story, Bay dismissed his criticism. Despite Affleck pointing out flaws in the movie's idea, audiences embraced Armageddon, and it became one of the biggest box office hits of 1998. One massive franchise began with a movie that even some of its own stars doubted. Keira Knightley starred in Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl, but Knightley did not expect the film to become a success. Knightley thought the movie was going to be terrible and said most of the principal cast felt embarrassed about working on it. She even never told any of her friends she was making the movie. Instead, Pirates of the Caribbean became a massive worldwide hit and launched a blockbuster franchise. One of the biggest hits of his career was a movie he had almost no confidence in. Jackie Chan starred alongside Chris Tucker in Rush Hour, but while filming, Chan didn't think the movie was working. Chan was frustrated about not having more creative control over his fight scenes and struggled with the language barrier between himself and Tucker. Even when audiences at the premiere were enjoying it, Chan didn't understand why they were laughing. Despite his doubts, Rush Hour became the biggest worldwide box office hit of Chan's career up to that point. One of the biggest movie events ever still had an actor questioning if it would succeed. Elizabeth Olsen played Wanda Maximoff, also known as Scarlet Witch, in Avengers: Endgame, but Olsen worried about the movie at its premiere. While looking around during the event, Olsen wondered if it could be their first flop. Her concern was not specifically about Endgame, but because Olsen was critical of herself and had trouble assuming anything she worked on would become a hit. Instead, Avengers: Endgame went on to smash box office records. One Christmas classic almost made its star worry about the future of his movie career. Will Ferrell starred in Elf as Buddy, a human raised by Santa's elves, but filming the movie created doubts for Ferrell. During outdoor scenes in New York City, hidden cameras were used to capture real reactions from people. Some recognized Ferrell in his elf costume and asked if he was doing okay. The experience made Ferrell question whether the movie would work, or possibly end his movie career just as it was beginning. Instead, Elf became a hit and an enduring holiday classic. One tiny misunderstanding led an actor into a movie he never expected. Bill Murray voiced the main character in Garfield, the movie, but one reason Murray joined was because he saw the movie was co-written by Joel Coen and thought he would get to work on a Coen Brothers movie. While recording his lines, Murray was shocked by how bad he thought they were. After watching scenes that were already put together, Murray learned it was not Joel Coen, but Joel Coen with an H. He still finished the job, and Garfield, the movie, became a $200 million plus box office hit. One actor was convinced his movie was heading for disaster, but the audience proved him completely wrong. Robert Carlyle starred in The Full Monty, a film that became a box office smash, earned 4 Oscar nominations, and was ranked among the greatest British films ever made. But Carlyle had a very different reaction. Carlyle thought the film was a load of pish and described the whole production as an uncomfortable, horrible mess. His doubts were even shared by a Fox Searchlight Pictures executive, who reacted to an early cut by saying, "Straight to video." One actor feared a movie would damage his career, but it ended up bringing him major success. Tommy Lee Jones starred in The Fugitive, the movie that earned Jones his only Academy Award so far. However, while filming one scene, Jones felt like things were not working and thought the movie would fail. Jones worried the film could turn out so badly that he would never work again. Despite those fears, The Fugitive became the film that gave Jones his Academy Award win. One actor's doubt about a movie turned into a very expensive decision. Donald Sutherland appeared in Animal House and was offered $25,000 for 1 day of work plus 2% of the film's gross. But Sutherland did not think the movie would succeed and chose the guaranteed money instead. A new deal was made for $35,000, including his daily fee and extra money in case filming took longer. Sutherland later admitted he regretted the choice, estimating that turning down the original offer cost him $14 million. One romance classic was not something its own actor expected to become huge. James Marsden played Lon Hammond in The Notebook, but Marsden was unsure about the movie while making it. Marsden thought some movies he worked on would make people laugh, and he included The Notebook as one example. He expected the film to feel like a schmaltzy movie of the week type thing. Instead, The Notebook became a major success, earning over $100 million at the box office and becoming an iconic romance film for fans of the genre. One acclaimed comeback role came from a movie the actor never really wanted to make. Burt Reynolds starred in Boogie Nights as adult filmmaker Jack Horner, a performance that earned Reynolds a Golden Globe and an Oscar nomination. But Reynolds had strong negative feelings about the film. Reynolds said he did not want to do the movie at first and turned it down 7 times before finally agreeing. Reynolds was not impressed with the movie or its subject matter and did not understand how others could be. He continued expressing regret about making the film years later. One actor had a very unusual misunderstanding about one of the biggest movie franchises ever. Edie Falco appeared in Avatar: The Way of Water as General Frances Ardmore, but Falco filmed her scenes 4 years before the movie came out. After not following updates about it, Falco assumed the film had already been released and had failed so badly that everyone forgot about it. Falco later discovered the movie had not even come out yet. She was able to joke about the whole situation after realizing her mistake. One actor underestimated a movie that would later change Hollywood history. Richard Dreyfuss starred in Jaws, but Dreyfuss did not realize how huge the film could become. While others involved with the movie believed they had something special, Dreyfuss thought it was just a little movie. After Jaws became a massive success and set new standards for what a big movie could be, Dreyfuss admitted he had been wrong about its potential. He did not try to pretend he always believed in the film after it became a hit. One Oscar-winning movie started with an actor questioning if anyone would even watch it. Geoffrey Rush appeared in The King's Speech, but Rush did not expect the historical drama to become a major success. When Rush first read the script about King George VI's struggles with stuttering, his reaction was that no one would want to go and see it. He also did not think of it as an Oscar-worthy film. Instead, The King's Speech earned 12 Oscar nominations, won 4 including Best Picture, and made over $400 million worldwide. One holiday classic started with an actor believing he was making a terrible movie. John Hurd played Peter McAllister in Home Alone, but Hurd did not believe in the film while working on it. Hurd thought he was making a bad movie and was difficult during filming because of that feeling. However, after seeing the finished result, Hurd changed his mind. While making Home Alone 2, Hurd admitted he was wrong, apologized to the crew, and said they had made a great movie the first time. One of the biggest franchises in history started with its creator doubting its future. George Lucas made Star Wars A New Hope, but Lucas believed another sci-fi movie would become the bigger success. Before the film's release, Lucas visited the set of Close Encounters of the Third Kind and became convinced that Steven Spielberg's movie would dominate the box office, while Star Wars would become a footnote. Spielberg disagreed, and the two made a wager involving 2.5% stakes in each other's films. The bet reportedly earned Spielberg around $40 million. One legendary movie almost didn't seem like something audiences would embrace, even to one of its own stars. Rita Moreno played Anita in the original West Side Story, but Moreno did not think the movie would do that well. Moreno believed people might not want to watch it because it lacked fancy costumes, included very operatic singing at times, and featured gangs that danced. Even though Moreno thought the film itself was brilliant, she questioned whether it would connect with moviegoers. Instead, West Side Story succeeded and earned Moreno an Oscar. One horror role became unforgettable, even though the actor never expected the movie to last. Betsy Palmer played Pamela Voorhees in Friday the 13th, but Palmer only appeared in the film because she wanted money for a new car, specifically a Sirocco. After finding out it was a horror movie, Palmer assumed the film would come and go without much attention, with the car being the only lasting reminder. Palmer was also dismissive of the script and wondered who would ever go see it. Instead, Friday the 13th became part of a long-running horror franchise. One legendary movie was expected to hurt its star's career before it was even released. Vivien Leigh played Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind, but Leigh and Laurence Olivier did not have high hopes for the film. Olivier even worried about the damage the movie could do to Leigh's rising career and thought she would need future roles to recover from its failure. Instead, Gone with the Wind became an all-time classic, and Leigh won her first of 2 Oscars for her performance in the film.